What are the lessons you've learned that you could tell other people? I mean, you must have learned some incredible lessons.
We went bigger than we ever planned, and we're still going bigger than we ever planned. But that's because the opportunity is there for us.
So, welcome to our second edition of Driven Minds. This is the podcast series where we get behind the actual dealership, speak to the entrepreneurs themselves, find out what drives them, what their passions are, and what makes them and their businesses so special. Today, I'm delighted to be joined with Luke Ferrara. Luke is the founder, CEO, and operations manager, and everything else by the sounds of it in the business of Approved. But I'm delighted to have him here today. And we're going to find out all about his story. So, Luke, great to have you on the pod.
Thanks, Craig. Great to be here today. Pleasure.
Yeah, looking very dapper today. So thank you for joining us. How did you get here? How did you end up in Dubai? How did you end up with your business? So can we go right back to the start?
Wow.
Luke at school. What was he like?
At school, wow.
And what did you do?
I didn't really have much of a choice about not going into the automotive industry.
Why is that?
My father's a car trader. My uncle's a car trader. I think I went to my first car auction when I was about 4.
Okay. This is all in the UK,
All in the UK. All in the UK. So we're from Cambridge,
right,
in the UK. My father had around 150 used car pitch. So we were, I was probably 4 or 5 years old, going around car auctions, literally around apparently, well, I don't really remember much, but I was around his feet the whole time. Like, literally didn't leave his side. I loved cars, everything about them.
So it was in your blood then?
In my blood, literally in my blood.
Yeah. And what kind of cars was your dad selling?
I would say bottom end of the market, sub £5,000, so less than 25, 30,000 dirham, that kind of stuff.
Right, okay.
So it was Ford, Vauxhall, Nissan, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So about 150 cars.
Right, okay.
Proper wheeler dealer type back in the day, you know. We're going back to the early 2000s, late 90s.
And did he teach you all the tricks?
Pretty much.
Oh, man.
Pretty much.
Is your father alive today?
He is, yes.
What's his view on where you've got to today?
I don't think he ever really expected me to get this far with it. He's still in the trade himself.
Oh, right, okay.
He's in commercial. He likes selling vans.
Oh, right, okay.
But I think he's very proud of me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
On where we've got to today. And we kind of come through an age where he was just before the digital era, that crossover period, which was when I was coming in. So I sort of did the analog side, the Auto Trader magazine and all of that stuff. I still remember I used to travel. We used to fly away on holiday, or if I used to take a book to bed, it was Top Marks or Auto Trader or Glasses Guide. Yeah. Like, I was that kind of kid.
Yeah.
Bit geeky, but
they were my magazines. They were my magazines.
I mean, I used to keep all the Glasses Guides. We had literally like a bookshelf full of Glasses Guide. We used to read them front to back, you know.
There was something nice, though, and I do think you missed this experience online of browsing. I think a magazine enables you to browse.
Yes.
You find stuff you weren't looking for, you weren't searching for it,
you
but you
flick
find it.
and you peruse it and everything else.
Oh my God, that's an amazing car, which you wouldn't have necessarily looked for. And I think the
it's too easy to close the page.
Yeah.
Right, today.
Yeah.
And move on to the next site or the next listing or whatever else. But so, yeah, I mean, that was me at a young age. And I actually gave up playing football at 13 to sell cars.
All right, okay.
So
were you a good footballer?
Average. It was never amazing. If I was that good, I'd be doing it. I would have done it professionally. But no, I started selling cars when I was 13.
13. So was that with your dad?
With my dad.
Okay.
With my dad. So I used to go in on a Sunday and sell cars. The first car I ever sold was a Daewoo Leganza. If you ever know what one of those is.
I do.
Like a sedan, saloon car.
Did that come with a warranty?
Probably some form of short warranty, but we always sold good cars. You know, we weren't that kind of Arthur Daly kind of place, but you know, we were the largest operator in the area of that kind of car. So, yeah, 13. I still remember I sold the guy 3 or 4 cars after that. He was a local working man. Bought a car for his wife, bought a car for himself.
Really good.
And I still remember that first car. I told him it was a Daewoo Leganza CDX, and I sold him as a diesel because of the D.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was a petrol. But, you know, what's
Still
to do?
worked.
Still worked.
Still worked. Right. So at 13.
13.
So that was a pivotal point when you went, "This, I love this. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what." Okay, so you were in.
Yeah, I was in.
There was nothing else.
Like, my dad used to travel 3 days a week buying cars.
Right.
And we would buy from Leeds, that sort of area, Mannheim, Leeds, and all that area. So he would go up on a Monday, come back on a Wednesday, and do 3 or 4 sales during that time. Every school holiday, every opportunity I got, I was with him.
Yeah.
For those full 3 days.
Right. Okay.
You know, everybody knew me at the auctions as a 13, 14-year-old boy.
Bacon sandwich.
The bacon sandwiches, the cup of teas, the breakfast, and the Mars bars, and mid-afternoon.
It's a great environment.
I really miss physical buying. I wish there was a physical buying auction here. It'd be amazing. I'd be there all the time.
Okay, so what happened then? So did you finish school?
So
I
I finished school. I literally ended school, say, on a Friday, and on the Monday went straight into family business.
Okay, you were in.
Like nothing else.
What was the name of the dealership?
It was called the Hunt's Car Company.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And then we had the Hunt's Commercial Company, which was the van side of things.
Right.
So I started working there full time. I did that for, I was probably about 18, and we couldn't work together as closely as you know, father and son.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work. So
Was that real kind of battle where he was quite traditional and you were quite forward thinking and?
yeah, it was, and that was it. To be honest, he was most of the time in Dubai because he used to. By that point, he was spending 3-4 months a year over the course of short weeks here and there on holiday here. So he was never there. He had a manager. But then there's me coming up thinking I know it all probably, but coming back to it today, he never fully trusted me on. I was 17 years old. He never trusted me 100% with what I was saying because I didn't know what I was doing as such. If you asked him that question today, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today because I'd still be within the family business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it would have been a very different story. But I moved away. I actually approached 2 friends of his who were business partners of his. He owned a football club as well.
Right.
The small local football club. And 2 of his partners in that backed me with a small bit of money to open my own little business.
All right, very good.
And it was an experience.
So at the age of 18, you were owning your own little dealership, right?
Yeah, only small. We had sort of 15 cars.
What did you call it?
It was called First Choice Autos.
First Choice Autos.
First Choice Autos in an industrial estate, in a warehouse.
In Cambridge still?
Just outside Cambridge, yeah.
Okay.
And again, similar kind of car, similar segment of car. And yeah, I did it for 2 years. I did that. Was not as successful as I wanted it to be, but I learned a lot of lessons. Learned how to run a business and the importance of cash flow and everything else.
And at 18, that's amazing to have those skills.
Yeah, so I'd eventually decided that I wanted to try my hand at franchise to learn that side of it. Because whilst I knew cars, I didn't know process. I didn't know the customer journey properly. So I went into franchise and started selling Fiat and Kia for my local, so EMG Motor Group.
Oh, I remember.
In Cambridge, remember EMG?
Yeah. Okay.
So started EMG in Cambridge, and then from there went on to do
New or used?
both.
Both. Okay.
Both.
Yeah.
Never enjoyed new cars, to be honest with you. Not my thing, but we did new and used.
Yeah.
And I was there probably about 6 or 7 months, to be honest.
Right.
And ended up then going to work for Jaguar Land Rover in North London.
Oh, okay.
So that was sort of the move on. Once I got my understanding of how a franchise worked, I moved into something I was more enjoying.
Jaguar Land Rover. So what kind of year would that have been?
That's 2012.
Okay, so good product then.
Yeah. XF had just been facelifted.
Yeah.
XJ was out still just before F-Type.
Yeah.
So I took F-Type orders and never delivered any because I moved on by then.
Did you move because the product was good and that's something you thought I could be passionate about this?
Yeah, I like the product.
Yeah,
I like the product.
I like the product.
And I was driving Cambridge to North London every day. Hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
And I lost my driving license in
I
between.
won't ask why.
Speeding, just speeding.
Oh, just speeding.
Just
okay.
outright speeding. But I was getting the train and a bus at one point.
Wow.
Just to get to work and back again. So I was, 14.
Committed.
Very committed. Very committed.
So how do you get on there? So, good? Sold lots of products?
Yeah, sold lots of cars down there. I love the brand. Really enjoyed working for JLR.
Yeah.
As much as they have their faults. They're very good cars.
Yeah.
And
Then where next? Where did you go after that? Oh, that's a story.
Well, I got an email one day from, it was a GM of Mercedes-Benz Northampton, which was much closer to home. And he said, hey, how do you fancy swapping London for Northampton? Looking for a used car guy. And I was only 21 at this point. We were interested in having a chat. So I went up, met the guy. GM hired me, a guy called Mike. He gave me a job in used cars, but they had a new car target as well. Obviously, I said I don't like new cars. So offered me the job, handed my notice in a Jaguar, and we'd just been through a takeover as well, so it was the best time to leave, to be honest. And then the driving ban came back to haunt me. Couldn't insure me. 21 years old.
Yeah.
Trying to go work for Mercedes-Benz, they couldn't get me insured on anything.
Right, okay.
So that took a bit of time, I think about 6 weeks, for them to speak to the insurers who sit in a group. Managed to get me insured in the end.
Yeah.
And I eventually went to work for Mercedes-Benz.
Right, okay.
And that was enjoyable.
Yeah.
That was enjoyable. But again, dealership politics. I didn't like doing the new cars.
Yeah.
Did the
And by then it would have been order book stuff, wouldn't it? You know, like you have to wait 6 months to get this car.
No, not too much.
No,
not too much. A couple of years after that. So I focused mainly on the used cars.
Yeah.
When I was doing Mercedes-Benz trimester targets as a dealership, I was pretty much doing the dealership target in 2.5 months myself, and I was really into the used cars. But the new cars, I just wasn't interested in. If it didn't have an AMG badge and a V8 engine in the bonnet, I weren't interested. Yeah.
As a side note, I mean, are you surprised over here how the official dealers here seem to have less interest in used car retailing compared to your experience going through the UK?
Yeah, I think it's a real overlooked opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm fast forwarding a bit to when I actually moved to Dubai, I remember coming in and finding used cars in stock.
So how did you make that leap to Dubai then? What was it that...
I'd actually applied to Altair Motors. I think it was Land Rover the year before.
So you wanted to come to Dubai?
Yeah, I've been coming to Dubai since 2004.
Okay.
On holiday. As I said, my dad used to spend a lot of time here. And I always knew I wanted to come live and work in Dubai and have a showroom here.
Yeah.
It was always my aim was to get my own showroom at some point in this country.
Right, okay.
I love the place.
Yeah.
It was just how I was going to do that. So I'd been coming every single year, 2004 to 2015, 16. I decided enough's enough. I've done the UK now. I need to move to Dubai. And on a personal note, I had a kidney transplant in 2016.
Okay. Right.
So I had to get the health in order first before I could do that. So once that was in order, I started looking actively to move here.
Right, okay. And you came in through Altair?
I came in from Altair. I applied the year before to Land Rover. Didn't even get a response back at the time. And then I got an email out of the blue from Altair Ferrari for used car manager role. And flew over, met with the regional office. I think they were looking to move the business into more modern day times. They brought over myself and a new car manager as well at the same time, both of us from the UK. And that was really where their used car division kicked off by actually being active rather than a support division, which is what I think a lot of these franchises do.
Yep.
Is that the used car supports 100% the new car division, whereas they're not an opportunity.
Yeah.
They're not treated as an opportunity.
So there you are. You're in Ferrari.
Yeah.
In Dubai.
Yeah.
Having lost a kidney, lost your license, fallen out with your father to an extent, set up a small business, and now you're in Dubai selling Ferrari. You must have thought, this is it, or not.
No, I enjoyed.
Could you believe that you were there in Dubai?
Oh no! Listen, I was pleased to be in the role I was in, because I think when you look at if you were to pick two brands or pick the best brands out there to work for, I mean, obviously some opinions will differ, but for me, it's Ferrari and Rolls-Royce.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. Nothing gets close to it. So I was living the dream, to speak, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But very quickly we turned the department around, and we were the small, simple tasks that you and I know in the UK to do weren't being done. Yeah. So small implementations and changes made a big difference. And that made a big difference to the top line, the bottom line, number of units that were sold. I think we went from the best year ever had been 20-something cars in the whole year to 92 within 2 years.
Right, okay.
So, wow. We didn't really do anything different, just did the job properly.
Yeah, yeah.
Photographed them well, presented them well, handled the inquiries properly, bought them well, and
do the basics.
Basics properly, and it worked. So, but it very quickly became a little bit boring.
Right. Okay.
Which sounds crazy to say Ferrari is boring, but from a day-to-day perspective, it wasn't active enough for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I started to look at now's the right time. I've got a good client base of people that know who I am, know what I'm about, what I'm capable of. Let's see if we can't put something together to launch a showroom of my own here.
How did you actually make that happen? How did you go about and say, okay, I'm going to launch approved, I need some backing, I need some cars, how did you make all of that happen?
So I went out to a very good client of ours who my wife was working with in a slightly different corner of the industry that was looking for some investment. So I assisted with that in exchange for moving into that business, which never really materialized. So by that point, I'd already left Ferrari to move into his business. Unfortunately, things didn't go the way that planned, which was not ideal, because by that point this was after COVID, we were 3-4 months pregnant, Abby was.
Oh, right.
At the time as well. So it was not the most ideal time to be doing it. But when that didn't materialize the way that it was supposed to, I said that, enough's enough. If I don't do it now, I'm probably never going to do it, right? I'm going to end up maybe going back into an automotive showroom role, which I didn't want to do anymore. And I had started looking at the phone book, who is out there that could put this plan in action for me,
right? Okay.
Or financially support me with it.
Yeah.
I'd long had a business plan.
Right.
I actually wrote my first business plan for Approved in 2018.
Where did you see the gap?
Saw the gap coming from this sector of a Ferrari supercar level. It was never that for me. It's always what we are now, which was premium luxury delivered in the right way.
Yeah.
With an actual customer service element to it.
Yeah.
So that was always the gap for me, because you never had that. You've got the main dealer used car element, which doesn't really, as we've already said, it doesn't really exist to its full opportunity here, which means clients don't get their best experience every time. Or you had to go to some of the other places in Dubai to buy cars from that, obviously it's such a diverse country of nationalities here. Some people are okay buying cars from other places. Other people are not. There's no confidence.
Yeah.
There's no transparency. There's no integrity when they're doing the deal. And that's what was really missing. It was a place where you and I could go and look around a car and know that you're going to get not just treated well, but treated in a way that you get an honest opinion on the car, an honest story on the car.
Yeah.
And that was the gap that I saw existed. I never saw it as big as it is today. I'd be lying if I said I envisaged having nearly 250 cars around me.
Yeah.
The first plan for Approved was cars and coffee theme. It was always the cars and coffee shop idea, but it was 30 cars.
Right, okay.
30 car showroom, small coffee shop, in Alcus, because of the location's quite central. Just somewhere where people can come and buy and sell cars.
Yeah. Well, you've done an exceptional job. I've obviously been to your showroom many times. I love what you've done. I love the fact that, it's indoors, or mainly indoors, especially this heat warning now, 46 degrees this week. You're going to do well out of that. I think people will come to you. It has a very open environment. You know, it doesn't feel like there's salespeople pinned behind desks waiting to jump on you. And it just feels like your staff actually quite enjoy what they do. But I know you've done more than just create a car showroom. So come on, tell me what else you've got going on. Because I know the cigar. Is the cigar lounge live?
It's not live yet. No, no, it's not live yet.
I've got a cigar waiting for that moment.
We'll have it soon. We'll have it soon. So the idea was to create a lifestyle space.
Yeah.
Truthfully, so we came across this plot, which is what approved is today, 75,000 square foot empty, pretty much empty land with a shack on it. And we said, hey, you know, we could probably go a bit bigger here with this. And that's why we created an indoor car showroom that can hold around 100. We've got the cigar lounge, which came in our new building. So we built a full detailing centre on the back of the showroom. So we have a cigar lounge, an art gallery, and soon to launch a barber shop as well.
That. Less important for me.
You've still got a beard.
I've still got a beard.
So the idea is that people can come in, whether they're looking to buy a car, sell a car, wash it, whatever they want. You know, the biggest pain for me is you always have to get your hair cut or your beard cut and wash your car.
Yeah.
You know, it's an hour to wash your car, and it's best part of an hour for the other one. If you can combine the two of them in a great environment, why not? Which is what we tried to do.
Yeah.
So the cigar lounge, the barber shop, not yet live.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're building a second approved next door, the same size again. So when that is live, we'll launch the whole rest of it.
The journey is from 13-year-old to, I don't know how old you are now.
34. 34.
Well, you've done phenomenally well for 34. And I hope anyone who's watching this podcast, not just from the UK, but anywhere out in the world, thinking about, you know, can I make it? This is surely going to be inspiration for you. But, you know, you've done phenomenally well from 13 to 34. So now, at 34, what are the lessons you've learned that you could tell other people? I mean, you must have learned some incredible lessons. Which ones are you prepared to share with us? You know,
I think it depends where you want to start.
If you're going to do this again, would you do it exactly the same?
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay, well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think I would, because what I've realised is and my business partner will tell you this, we literally discussed doing 30 cars. And that was it. You know, the plan was we would have 30 cars, we'd own them all, and we would sell, you know, 15, 20 a month, 25 a month, you know, and we'll bring some well-needed transparency and trust to the market, and we'll enjoy what we're doing. We went bigger than we ever planned, and we're still going bigger than we ever planned, but that's because the opportunity is there for us. So I wouldn't change anything about it.
Okay.
I would say that the biggest lesson I've learned is you've got to be able to trust people.
Do you trust people? I mean, in this...
Yeah, I'm quite. I let them go and do it and fail, and you know, I'm very quick at making decisions. I think that's one thing. A lot of people would say, "Oh, make a decision like that," because if it's not right, we change it. But when I say trust, there's a lot of people out there that either want the best for you or they're not interested in your well-being at all. And I think I learned that from when I left Ferrari with what I was doing to then what I'm currently doing today, and the people that have helped me get to where I am today. Yeah. You know, they put their trust into you and vice versa. And if you've got that, then you really got to respect it and value it.
Yeah.
Which not everybody gives you that.
So come on, tell us some of the stuff you didn't get right. Tell me some of the hard lessons you learned.
Some of it down to hiring, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think people are so important to a business that, and again, I think that's a lot of people get that wrong here.
Yeah.
And I did get it wrong with a few people.
Is that because you trusted them too much?
Yeah, I trusted them a little bit too much. Maybe held them too highly in regard in terms of ability, not from a personal perspective, in terms of ability. and that's shone through or didn't shine through, so to speak. That's probably something we definitely didn't get right. What else? I mean,
because you've changed your model, haven't you? Because when we first met,
so
you went down the Japanese route.
Yeah,
You're now flipping that to more GCC stock.
We're trying to better balance it. So when you start, when we did the initial plan, as I said, was 30 cars. We had enough money to buy 30 cars.
Yeah.
Obviously, we then fitted out 60-odd thousand square feet of warehouse into what is approved today.
Yeah.
And you've been around, right? We fitted it out very well.
Yeah.
Not just aesthetically, equipment and all of that stuff. So we then had to go a bit heavier on the consignment route, which is not something I enjoy doing. We went down the consignment route. We then added the Japanese side into it. And I still firmly believe that the Japanese cars are superb.
Yeah.
The condition of them and the mileages on them are just in most cases, much nicer than you find here for a similar age car.
Yeah.
But it's a lack of awareness.
Yeah.
Coupled with some unfortunate players out there that like to fiddle the game.
Yeah.
And give everybody else a bad name for imported cars.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a dirty market in other places. So it makes our job harder of getting that across. You know, if you came and saw the lengths we go to GCC, the Japanese cars, we do everything.
Yeah.
Everything possible on a car, we do. Radios, navigations, taking all the Japanese equipment out. Most of them need tyres because there's no tyre age limit over there. All of that's done.
Yeah.
So I still stand by the fact that the Japanese cars are superb. They're a good opportunity for us as a dealer and a good offering for people to buy. But we are starting to put more GCC cars in.
Yeah.
And I'd probably say that's on the basis that today we don't consign anything.
Right, okay.
Except supercars.
So the strategy was still the right strategy. It gave you volume, it gave you cars, it enabled you to trade, and now it's... So you wouldn't have changed that? You wouldn't...
I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change. We maybe had a few too many. We were a bit heavy on the Japanese stuff because I think, when you look at the number of inquiries the GCC cars get versus Japanese, your opportunity as an operator is better on the GCC stuff, right? But I wouldn't change that we sell Japanese cars, and we still do sell them, and we still actively buy them today.
Right, okay. Yeah. No, look, it makes absolute sense. I mean, you converted me, not that I bought a Japanese car, but you converted me just going around the showroom, seeing the quality, understanding that these vehicles are well looked after, are well maintained. And having been to Japan, they are very good drivers.
Yeah.
Especially compared to here.
And they take great care of their cars. They do take great care of their cars. They have real pride in how clean their cars are.
Well, they take pride in everything.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, they are a beautiful nation.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a rugby guy, and I go and watch a lot of rugby matches, and the Japanese fans clean up after themselves.
Yeah.
If they're the travelling tourists, they'll clean up the stadium afterwards before they go.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful people.
Yeah. I was actually for the World Cup.
You were in Japan?
Yeah,
we must have had this conversation because I was there. I was there for that.
I was in Tokyo the day that England played.
Right. Okay.
So I was there. But,
I really enjoyed that tour. I thought, they were great hosts.
Yeah.
They did some lovely things, the Japanese, where they got the schools to learn all the national anthems. So kids turned up and sang the national anthems to you.
Just wonderful people.
Very
wonderful
respectful.
People. And they look after their cars as well.
So what's next for you? What motivates you, right? Because if I listen to your story, you've had massive adversity. You've known when you've reached the ceiling and gone, need to move on, need to move on, need to move on, need to move on, which you've done brilliantly. You're 34 years old. What drives you now? Where do you go next?
Well, with Approved, we're just going to continue, to be honest with you. I think that we go through phases. We've taken each phase that we needed to with Approved, and there'll be another phase. Recently it has been to stop the consignment and focus on our own inventory. So that's been the focus of this year, 2025, has been to reduce the number of cars out. and even that in itself is quite amazing. The amount of people that just focus on consignment. You know, it's a very heavy model, right, for a lot of places. To the point that we actually had some adverse comments from some people that is owning your own stock sustainable.
Right.
You know, for me, it's the only way that it's sustainable to be in control.
Yeah.
Not just for bigger margin, but also for the preparation and what you're delivering to your client, because you control that car 100%, right? It's your car. So I think the next phase is focusing on opening the next approved next door. So that's currently under construction and will complete, I would say, October.
Yeah.
That's going to give us the opportunity to have 300 cars indoors, which firmly puts us as the largest single space operator in that premium luxury sector.
Yeah.
Especially considering we only do the top end of that sector.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we want to really grow, is becoming known as the leading business for a premium luxury car in the country.
Have you thought about, I mean, obviously you are going down the lifestyle route with the barbers and the cigars and whatever else. Have you ever gone to the Mercedes Brooklands in the UK? Yeah, and have that experience?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if anyone's doing that here as such. In terms of, you know, there's like the museum part of it. So they've got the old collectible Mercedes. And then they've got the little outdoor track, part of the Brooklands track, so you get to test some of the cars.
I don't know, I've not got enough space for that.
Maybe not the track. There's that museum part of it, though, isn't there? I was saying I was at Flat 12 on Sunday with my son. He just loved going there and just sitting there and drinking a drink and looking at cars. It was...
Well, we are gonna launch a small storage area for luxury hypercar storage.
Oh, okay.
Because I've done that previously, launched that previously. So
this is for people who just want to leave their car with you for long-term storage. Will you also send the car to different parts of the world if they're travelling? And
we won't do it ourselves, but of course we've got partnerships with other entities here that can help us with that. Yeah. So we'll offer it as a concierge service as such.
Yeah, that's nice.
But the storage element is something we want to add because it's an interesting.
Yes.
To have a room full of hypercars.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to see it.
Exactly.
So, and that's actually my probably background for the last 8 years really has been hypercar, supercar, that kind of sector. So that's where I enjoy.
Yeah.
And the only cars I really sell today myself is those cars.
Yeah.
You know, the day-to-day of what Approved does or what Approved sells is managed by the leadership team.
But what's driving you for this? What's the motivator for you to keep doing this? Go bigger, do more. What is it?
I guess I probably just want to see Approved more out there in the market. To be honest, I want to see more cars on the road. I want to see my plates everywhere. You know, I want to see more people driving what we've delivered and enjoying that experience that we put together for our clients.
Yeah.
You know, that's the big motivator, to be honest, is that I've personally been through some really terrible experiences of buying cars in this country before, prior to owning Approved. And also my partner was the same. You know, my partner in Approved has bought some cars in the past, and he feels very much the same, that we could improve on that.
Yeah.
We could deliver something that is worthy of a good experience to clients. Which is often overlooked by most people here. Yeah. You know, there's some great players in the market, some great showrooms out there that are doing bits of what we do, but there's no one doing that whole experience that we deliver to clients. Yeah. Start to finish. Yeah. And the value-added services that we offer to clients as well. You know, we were the first people to launch as an independent showroom a 2-year warranty. That's not just a 2-year warranty limited to 5,000 dirhams. It's an unlimited unlimited number of claim warranty for 2 years.
Do you think the market over here understands warranty or trusts warranties? No. They
don't trust it because of these 2-year 5,000 dirham claim warranties. Yeah. You know, we can't change the alternator on the car because the tyres are not original. Well, they're not related to each other.
Yeah. You know, there's such a massive education piece to be done here, isn't there, around warranties, inspections, building trust.
Yeah.
Because
you know, we independently inspect our cars, not because we don't have the space or the time to do it. We could hire inspectors tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if I tell you or approved shows you an inspection report that's branded approved, says this car is 100% perfect. Of course we tell you that because we want to sell you the car. We do it independently with a reputable garage that will give you the real bones of that car. This is what the car was when it arrived. And then one further from that, we actually do the work.
Yeah.
I've got cars that sit in our showroom floor, 5-year-old Range Rovers, that we've spent 25,000, 30,000 dirhams on before it's gone to market.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist over here.
Yeah.
But it's getting that difference across to people and educating them on this is what an approved car is all about.
I guess that's like all great businesses, isn't it? It just takes time, doesn't it? You can't actually rush some of this stuff. It just takes time for people to understand, get the word of mouth. I mean, word of mouth over here is more important than anywhere else I've been in the world.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Someone says one bad thing and that's it, they're rubbish. Someone says one good thing.
You're the best in the town.
Yeah, well, that's right, yeah.
I've noticed that because, we're now just celebrating 2 years as an opening business. We're getting more footfall. More people are coming through our business. And those that do come in, a lot of people walk away having left a deposit.
Yeah.
So we're very good at showcasing what we're all about when you come to see us. And, one thing, for example, that my sales director, Simon, has installed with the whole team is that everybody that comes in gets walked around our business. Because you walk in, you've come in, right? We've got 9-meter high ceilings with 100 cars on the floor. But behind that big wall at the back is another 30,000 square feet of preparation space, the largest expo destination in the country for PPF. You can't see that from the front.
Yeah.
So we make a point of walking every prospective client around to understand and show them, educate them. That car on the showroom floor has been through this process. This is the team that's done it. This is the turntable we've photographed it on. This is the lighting that we've gone through to quality control, quality check the paint. Here's the paint depth report for the car.
Yeah.
All of that education is given to a customer.
Yeah.
And I think when people see that and understand it, 9 times out of 10, they do buy our cars.
Yeah, 100%.
We're very successful with that, and people like to see it.
Yeah.
Again, it takes time to get more people to be aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. It sounds like you're doing all the right things. So one question is, what do you see happening in the automotive space here in the UAE, right? What's your vision for how you see this shaping up over the next, not long term, next 3 to 5 years, let's say? So that's my first question.
Okay.
And what part do you think Approve's going to play in that future of the automotive sector?
That's the second question?
Nope.
Okay, that's the first question.
That was 1B.
1A, I think that from a used car perspective, new car perspective is totally different, but used car perspective, I think it'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of car dealers in this country. There's a lot of people in different areas of the country as well, right? And a lot of the models are the same.
Yep.
So, again, I think word of mouth plays a lot on where people put their cars to sell them. It'll be interesting to see whether that really is sustainable to have so many of the similar businesses here. So that'll be an interesting thing to see because, obviously we started Approved 2 years ago with, I think it was 7 cars, plus some consignment cars. We're now at 200, over 200 today. Over half of them are our own cars, and that's growing. So, as we start and continue buying cars, actively, cash buying or direct buying cars, it'll be interesting to see the market share that we absorb by owning the stock. And obviously, we're going to be 300 cars by the end of the year, with further plans to expand that up to probably 500 cars. So, be interested to see the sustainability of other businesses. Once we get to full capacity of 500 cars, and we're very niche in what we offer. I look at every single car myself. I have the final decision on everything we take, and if it's a standard car that's got nothing interesting about it, I'm not interested in the car because I want our cars to be different. So when you're trying to find that many cars that are different, you end up taking a large market share of those cars.
Yeah.
So that as our footprint grows, it'll be interesting to see the sustainability of the rest of the models out there.
Overall, the market's going to grow.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Population is going to grow, and it's going to be an affluent population growth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it looks like so far, and I think that will continue. So you're definitely playing in the right space. So the population is going to grow, no doubt about it. The question was, so you're enjoying the rising tide and taking some share.
Yeah.
For the next 3 to 5 years, it feels like you are aggressively now going after taking share, because you're going from 200 to 300 to 500 cars. You'll be taking share from somewhere else.
For sure, 100%. We'll have to take share from somewhere else, because the market's not growing that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And you'll be doing that through service, through the quality of your vehicles, and the uniqueness in trying to find those products which aren't the run-of-the-mill cars. These are cars that are more desirable.
Yeah, 100%. And we're also putting cars out there that are slightly different.
Yeah.
And because we own our stock, we do modify a little bit. We change wheels, we add spacers, we lower. All of these kind of small touches make our cars stand out on the market.
Yeah.
And the more we do that, I mean, just this morning I was discussing with my preparation manager, we might as well own shares in H&R. The amount of spacers that we buy today for cars, because it makes cars look a little bit different on the market.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because Rolls-Royce's biggest market for personalisation, I believe, is this market, right?
Yes.
So
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Well, so it makes absolute sense, because people here want personalisation, right?
Yeah.
They want to be a little bit different. They want something.
Yeah,
so,
and we do so much on the other side of the business with the colour app.
Yeah.
Because we have that as hand in hand with the showroom. Customers will come in and, I like the car, but I wish it was green. No problem, we'll do it green. Or we've done designs as part of the transaction to sell the car.
Yeah.
So that's what makes us stand out. That's what's helping us to gain awareness in the market. And I'm seeing that as well, where there's parts of our business that have been taken and rolled out elsewhere. So you see things on social media and whatever else of this business is now doing this, or they've introduced that, and but it comes 3 months after we've done it.
Yeah.
So which is good.
Yeah.
It's good because ultimately I'm out there, we're out there to make money, to run a successful business and do well at it. But equally, we want to lift the market. We want to bring a standard to the market where people know that they're getting a good quality car and a great service with it. That if you have a problem, you can go back to them and be treated well. So if people are taking what we're doing and implementing it into their own businesses, I'm all for that, which is great.
Yeah, I totally agree. What advice would you give somebody? I mean, your journey's been spectacular, right? You've learned phenomenal lessons in both in the UK and in Dubai. But you're now in the pub with someone in the UK who's like, I want to do your journey. I want to come to Dubai. I want to own my own dealership. I want to be someone like you. What 3 things would you say to that person to say, these are the 3 lessons I've learned. You've got to follow this plan. What are they?
Number 1, be yourself. 100%. You've got to be transparent with people and be upfront. Those that know me well will know that's exactly what I'm like. Secondly, I think when you're designing the model of your business, especially in this sector, you've got to focus it around the customer. That's one thing we've done and we continue to do every single day, is we focus around the customer journey and how the rest of the business looks. What can we do to add to that or implement or change that to better the customer experience? Because everything else comes with it.
Yeah.
And a third thing, be open-minded. Be open-minded to how, to changes and shifts in the market, and you've got to move with the times. That's one thing I think people would say, is that I'm very quick when it comes to doing things. I think it's important that you see something's wrong, you act on it straight away.
Yeah. And look, and based on your story, don't let adversity get in the way, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep going.
just keep
pushing.
Just keep
pushing. I mean, I've got friends that have said to me, I don't know how you do what you do, and you keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I've never lost sight of where I want to get to, and nothing will get in that way.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think it's sometimes underestimated, isn't it? The energy that a leader needs to get things done.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said to you before this, you know, I still check, and I do it every single day, every advert we put live, you know. I'm downstairs checking every car that comes on the showroom floor to make sure it's done right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't overlook anything. As much as I've got a leadership team that run a lot of the day-to-day, nothing gets by me.
Is it detail is retail or retail is detail? It's one of the lines, isn't it?
Detail is retail, yeah.
Detail is retail. Yeah, there we go. Luke, I've really enjoyed the session. Thank you so much for giving us phenomenal insights into you and your life. We wish you the best of luck with Approved.
Thank you.
And I'll see you in your showroom soon.
Look forward to it. Thanks for having us online.
All right,
Cheers.
thanks.